Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're here with another episode of Castlevania, episode 3. Last time on Castlevania, we finally caught up with Hector and Lenore, and there's a plot. There is a plot. I'm just not sure whose plot it actually is. We see Hector moving about the castle, planting these symbols, these rocks in different locations. He's having conversations with a similar mirror that we saw Isaac possessed last season that he got from the shopkeeper. But he's using it to talk to Varney's men who appear to want to resurrect Dracula. So it's giving us the impression that Hector is working on a plan to bring Dracula back from the dead. I don't know whether Isaac is involved with this. Last time we saw him, he was heading to the castle to decimate everyone there. I don't think he's in the mood to converse with Hector. I think he's coming there to kill everyone, but we will see. We'll see. The sisters do appear to be having different agendas. Lenore in particular doesn't share Carmilla's thirst for dominance and conquest. So it'll be interesting to see whether she sides with Hector, if that's Hector's plan, and betray her sisters later on. So I can't wait. Let's check it out.
Who's a pretty girl?
Yeah, this is the creature that was with Isaac, right?
Who's a pretty girl?
The one who was talking with in the desert. The philosopher, I think.
What are you looking at? He told us to place possessions to aid later identification if need be.
We haven't heard any of the others speak except this one. No, he's putting them to work. Interesting. He's rebuilding the town? Good to see you, Isaac.
Question.
Of course.
Yeah, you're the only one around I can talk to.
I do not need to tell you what night creatures are, Forge Master.
Yeah, yet you're having them rebuild a town. Don't they just do whatever they're commanded to by the Forge Master?
Night creatures do the will of the
exactly.
Forge Masters.
Yeah, you could just move on.
Destroy and despoil. You have us burying the rotten dead and rebuilding and repairing this place.
Is that your nature, though?
You believe your tools of destruction only because this is how your kind have always been used. Have a berry.
This is interesting. So he doesn't want to destroy.
We will be moving on soon.
Just has one aim, and that's
After we're
Carmilla.
gone, the city will be here for people to find and make homes.
But once you've got your vengeance, Isaac, what's the plan? What will you do with the night creatures? I don't know if he can return them to hell.
You are returned to Earth as tools, and I will use tools as I wish.
Well, that's his will. Member berries! Member berries!
To recognize that you are not tools at all. For no tool would taste a berry and remember the time in its first life when it encountered them.
Not anymore.
May I make an observation?
You may.
You are changing.
Is it changed though, or have those characteristics always been there?
Are we still fighting, Isaac?
We're always fighting for something. But I take your meaning.
Yeah, he has his mirror, but he's waiting Hector is also waiting. And what about the crazy Forge Master that he encountered on his way here?
Go on, say something. I killed you, old wizard. You must have an opinion on that. For a long time,
Isaac, the hero of justice.
to be the knife that others wielded. But lately, old wizard, I have felt more like the hand than the knife.
Good for you, Isaac.
I have agency in this world. I can create futures.
What does he do with all that?
And happily, I could create a future and end yours at the same time. Mirror. What is...
So both he and Isaac has one, but they don't appear to do the exact same thing.
And who might you be?
Do you not remember me?
You do not
So
love
Varney speaking to them both.
Varney. Varney of Dracula's original co-op. You've done great work, sir.
My question is pending.
I'm working to bring about Dracula's return from the dead, Isaac Forgemaster.
Oh, very interesting.
What will Isaac decide to do? And if he learns about Hector's involvement as well.
What end?
He has unfinished business, sir. He owes us death. Death in volumes unprecedented. His great work remains incomplete.
So does mine. Afterwards, we will see.
I
All right, Isaac.
better than that of Dracula's favored Forgemaster.
Isaac is forging his own story
You
now.
can wriggle in your little coffin with disappointment. Samira, do not allow this one to call me again, and go to sleep.
Fuck you.
You didn't tell him about Hector. Nobody knows who you are, Barney. He's doing his own thing, but he's still on a path of vengeance for Dracula, unless he changes his mind about that one as well.
I changed my mind. Have soldiers carry me around the countryside on a bed.
I was making a joke.
You're a vampire. You're fine.
Here, dull the pain.
We've been touring. Not even the entire territory Camilla marked out. Just a piece of it for weeks. And this is all wrong.
Okay. I thought she was on board with Camilla's plan before. Striga was the one that needed convincing last season.
All right. Explain yourself, woman.
Is there a swift and merciful way for us to take control of all the designated territory between the castle and the sea?
You mean snap my
No,
fingers and
it's
it's all
gonna
done?
take years, most likely. But you guys have years. You're immortal.
It's a rolling invasion and entrapment of hundreds of thousands of humans. Humans who are sadly cleverer than pigs and will fight and suffer and fear and run.
I never thought Miranda to be the
Came out
sentimental type,
because I
you
wanted
know?
to see for myself the logistical challenges to the plan.
And I told you you didn't have to. I'd survey the theater of combat and let you know what I...
Exactly. You convinced Striga last season.
This is going to be a horrifying mess that we will be dealing with to the end of our days. And it will cause more suffering than history has yet seen.
Are you suddenly doubting me after all this time because your legs are sore from living my life?
Are you ready to fight the same war over and over again for the rest of your life?
Carmilla throws a crazy plan at us, and it's us who make it work.
We make it work despite Carmilla. And Lenore's never any bloody help. She's off with the fairies most of the No, Carmilla has this magic reality distortion.
Is it the
We
ring?
pride ourselves on making things work. But we've
So
been
that
completely
when they're closer to her,
away
they're
from her.
in tune with her will, but
I'm telling you.
at a distance, they question it.
They know what we are.
Apparently, they're not stupid. I need to get to my trunk.
That one.
Doubts in Camilla's court.
You never open.
Oh. So it was Striga in the trailer.
Day armor. Get in the trunk.
No.
Arrows
Cover
can't
herself
pierce it, and
completely.
light can't get in. Get in the damn trunk, love.
So she can fight in the day. Oh, this is gonna be a bloodbath. That's a dope outfit. Does remind me a bit of Berserk. Yep, reminds me a lot of the Berserk armor. All they need to do is is make a break in her armor. I guess Miranda has a point. The humans aren't gonna go without a fight, and they know you have a weakness.
That's right.
Don't do it. Ah. You have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Retreat! Do they all have armor? Yeah, there's no way they're stopping her. They'd have to find a way to break her armor so some sun can get in. Oh, they were prepared. Oh. Striga is a soldier, so she has thought a lot. So she has thought about all of this. That's a dope shot.
Just people. Villagers. Farmers and the like. I don't disagree with what you said about Carmilla.
But
I just fought fucking farmers. Saw the fear in their eyes. Not fear of dying. Fear of not having fought. Fear of not saving their people. We'd never stop, would we? Victory condition is just fighting and holding the whole insane structure of her empire together until I die of old age.
You'd be out here fighting forever. I'd be back at Styria trying to keep supply lines intact forever.
And we
oh, they're all slowly turning against Carmilla's plan. But I suspect those rings are what are compelling them when they're closer to her.
Constantly.
In the cold light of day, I have to ask myself this. Do I want this? Do we want this?
Oh, speak of the devil. Not great news for you. Damn, missed it. Just death and destruction.
These people never had a chance to recover and rebuild. It's awful.
And everything has led us here.
Apparently it is. But what is it?
Ah, there you are. Getting a good look at our fine city?
I'd rather get a good look at your underground court.
Not yet. I want to be certain you can be trusted first.
Exactly. We don't know you.
I'd like some time to look around. You can find us again later, I'm sure.
But we have important matters to discuss. Saving the city, restoring the throne, imposing order.
Seems you need them just as much as they need you.
She does need our help. But I am sick of being a beat player in someone else's story.
Walk away.
Alright, episode 3 of Castlevania. Things are getting interesting. One of my theories from the last season at the very least is, I suspect maybe proven true, with the rings that all Carmilla's sisters are wearing and herself. From what we see in this episode, you know, the further they are away from Carmilla, the more they develop thoughts of their own and motivations of their own. It seems that Carmilla has them under the exact same spell that Lenore, you know, placed on Hector. Well, I guess it depends, because Lenore is very much close to Carmilla, but she still has doubts. Well, I can understand Miranda and Striga, who are miles away from her, and maybe that's why they've changed. But Lenore is still very much close to her, and she still has doubts herself. So, not quite sure whether it is the distance, or the distance maybe the distance just helps it along. But they are definitely having doubts. And I do think if they turn on her, that she has a way with the rings to compel them, or maybe even kill them. So we'll see. Miranda and Striga. Miranda would have been the last person I would have thought to be sentimental about humans and whatnot, but she seems more convinced with spending her days just fighting humans. And I'm actually happy that we got to see humans not so much putting up a fight because they got decimated, but being smart in fighting that day for one thing. But of course, these were just farmers. They weren't strategists or soldiers, so they were wiped out. But they chose the right time to actually fight. They caught them off guard, and they managed to kill a few of them. Striga, unfortunately, has a badass berserk armor that completely covers her and protects her from the sunlight. So they need to figure out some way around that. All they need to do is just pierce the armor, really. And once some sunlight can get through, then she's screwed because she'd be stuck. But hopefully they can figure out a way around that. But I'm interested to know, to see how this storyline ends with the Carmilla and her sisters. I don't know if the betrayal will happen before or after Hector gets there, because I imagine Hector will go there and he will decimate them all. We got a bit of his story this episode as well. This is his first appearance for this season. And he's speaking with the philosopher that he had resurrected. The same guy he spoke with last season, who told him that really amazing story. But he's questioning what exactly Isaac's will is. They're night creatures. They're brought back for only one purpose, and that's to kill. But Isaac has them just repairing the town, burying the dead. It's good to see that Hector I don't know why I keep calling him Hector. It's good to see that Isaac is finally at this place where it's not just death and destruction, okay, people can come back and repopulate the town, so let's fix everything that was broken. He had a call with Varney, who appears to be working with Hector to resurrect Dracula. Isaac didn't disregard the plan, right? So I felt as though he would oppose Dracula coming back. Maybe not, but I think he's going to be opposing Dracula at some point or another. He wasn't opposed to the plan here in terms of actively stopping it from happening. He's just like, okay, that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing right now, right? I have my own thing to deal with. But the thing that he has to do is to avenge Dracula, basically. So it's not as though they're not connected. And if Dracula comes back to life, what exactly are you avenging, really? Um, but I guess he has changed. I'm glad to see he has changed. He listened to the captain last season, and he's forging his own path. I guess we'll just have to wait and see where that path leads him. I suspect he has a score to settle with Hector, and Carmilla and her sisters. So, well, Carmilla in particular, because he hasn't met any of the sisters. So I think they will fight, but I wonder whether whether they will fight because Isaac will seek them out, or if he will decide that, okay, I've done it, I've had enough, I want to take a different path, and maybe Carmilla decides, okay, we're gonna go to war and we're gonna attack the first town over, and that town is gonna be Isaac's, and then he's gonna decimate them and we know he was heading towards her castle, so he is nearby. Um, so it'll be interesting. I think there will be conflict. There will be conflict between the two, Isaac and Carmilla's party. I'm just not sure whether he will be the one that seeks them out or it will be Carmilla who does that. But whatever the case, I am with it, Isaac. I'm with it. Isaac is the guy to root for this episode, so I can't wait to see what he decides. Varney, man, do something with your life. Like, Dracula's dead. He says he wants to do all these things, but do them without Dracula. I mean, he wants death and mayhem, but you don't need Dracula to do all of that. So he seems very devoted to bringing Dracula back from the dead. Assuming that Dracula even wants to come back. I mean, he was with his wife in hell. Probably just chilling with his wife. He doesn't care about this shit anymore. So do something with your life, Varney. Move on, man. Just move on. All right. All right, guys. Be sure to post down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Remember to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next one.